Hello, artist testing one.
All right, let's make sure everything's going.
Hello, artist testing.
I've had streams where I stream for a while and then I did realize that it's like no audio. Crap. All right, cool. We're good to go. Going.
Sweet.
Sweet. Well, thanks for hanging out again and working on stuff. A second afternoon in a row.
I know, we've deleted everything I did and we're starting back from scratch.
Starting
that's
fresh.
my color reference. So, we're gonna start some color work on this. What I need to know before I do this, you mixed one of these goggles, right?
I did.
With these boots, right?
So yes, it's legitimately all of the first one with the boots of that third one. That's
all right. So I'm just gonna make that really quick.
Perfect.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, Amelia was like, these shoes are best. Awesome. Alright, I'm gonna start posting the stream places.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Yeah, that looks... Yeah. I love it. Shape language. It's so fun.
Just going to minor for now. Bring it down. Alright. And then we're just gonna quickly Shift and 4, separate the lines. Yeah, so we were talking about like how now everyone's just gonna have AI make realistic in-game graphics and everything's gonna look like the real shitty GTA remaster, right?
Yeah.
Like every game coming out of an industry, because I guarantee you that's what the fucking AI is gonna make default, you know?
No doubt. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, pretty much as soon as I saw, yeah, the scan data stuff. Okay, we can scan we can scan people in now, and it just takes like an hour or two to like clean up, and it's like, well, my job's over, so I'm just gonna completely change gears to stylize only, like just anything that does not exist in the real world. That's what's going to last, you know.
I've believed this my whole life. You know, I watch realistic art. I didn't watch it, but I realized this. If you'd studied, like, when I was a kid, my art teacher would tell me how great, you know, illustrators were in marketing and from the, you know, the fucking 1800s all the way up to 1960 something. And then when they're like, we don't need art, we can just photograph everything. And, you know, they removed illustrators from that. And then eventually everything, you know, turned into like, instead of a drawing of a ad for a Nintendo game, it was like a photo of a family all sitting around their fake Nintendo system and shit. So, like, looking at like comic strip artists as a kid, like Bill Watterson, and you know, at that time, you couldn't have a comic strip with the same like art style. Everything had to kind of have its own look, right? And that look was tied to this.
Calvin and Hobbes, right? Sorry, I didn't interrupt you.
Yeah, Calvin and Hobbes, Garfield, and Bloom County. You know, I like Garfield for the art. I didn't really care for the story. You know, like
Sure.
It's like, just give me the Odie story. I could give a shit less about everything else. But love Odie. But but yeah, it was all tied around that an artist's signature art. And
Yeah.
you know, studios hate when you can tell an artist's signature, because if the artist leaves, then they took it with them. But hey, how about this? Create situations where artists are inherently blue collar workers, right? Like they're not. You got those trust fund babies out there, but for a lot of ways, you know, if you got money, you're not sitting around spending 20 years learning how to draw. Like that's generally a poor person's game. Like, you know, because you could just be like, I'd just rather go to the beach. You know, why would I do this shit? So I always felt like that's just a way of like them keeping the poor people from being able to like monetize their own shit. And if they did create a place that was awesome, then you know a blue collar person won't leave. They'll happily stay there making cool, fun shit. You know, like you were able to make this, you know what I mean? Like at Rare, you know, or whatever, forever. You know what I mean? Like you probably wouldn't be like,
You
make
wouldn't
a
wanna
own
leave.
thing now.
Yeah, right.
Wouldn't want to leave.
It's just too much fun.
Until the guys at Rare come in and say, now we're making realistic, generic Gorillas AI game. Like, yeah. So someone was like, I typed in Frazetta, Gorillas, and Knights, and look what it turned out. I'm like, looks like charred bodies. I don't know how you're seeing gorillas. Like the AI stuff, I mean, it will get better, but right now I'm like, you have to explain to people what that shit is. That's not a win. Like my art survives on you looking at it and easy read, bro. This, you know, Nathan Fowkes, one of the legendary designers, would call it the simple statement. What is the simple statement? And AI does not make the simple statement. It's just, you know, it can't. It's a series of tons of information, and then folks are like, well, just in a couple hours cleaning it all up. And I'm like, all right, man. You know, and then the guy next to you generates a grill and he gets the same bullshit. Now y'all got like 1,500. You know, it's like when SketchUp took off and everyone was like, I thought it was great because I was like, oh, a faster way to model for backgrounds, right? So like save myself some learning curve. And I quickly realized it's just faster for me to learn perspective than it is to manipulate these fucking 3D programs. So like I just sat down and learned perspective. However, cut to like 4 years later, you know, like I open up a comic and like there's 5 different comics and they all have the same Aztec pyramid they got off the shared SketchUp library. Because no one actually modeled their own Aztec pyramid. They all were just like, look, it's got these free models you can use. And I'm like, not really, dude. Like, not for commercial gain. And so everyone has these same generic freaking... I'm like, come on, you couldn't just draw an Aztec temple? It takes time, man. Time is money. I'm just like, yeah, I don't... That's the other thing I hate about like this whole like making art like you're pumping out widgets or something, you know. And it's like it's such a complete different... You ever go to gallery shows, like art shows at galleries?
Sometimes I do.
So you're familiar with the gallery scene, right? Right. So like you go to you've been to a Comic-Con, like a comic convention?
Oh yeah, many.
Okay. All right. So you know when you go to Comic-Con and people are handing you like nifty hors d'oeuvres and talking to you about like how each piece is like $500. It's never happened, right? Right? But you go to a gallery and in the gallery they're like, oh man, I produce 5 of these a week, 7 of them in a couple hours. No, it never happened, right? So in a gallery show, they're telling you it took a month sometimes to make one, maybe a year to make a piece. And they're selling they got little drinks, little hors d'oeuvres, little canapes.
Oh yeah.
You know,
Coffee
DJs
and
maybe
wine.
playing there, right?
Yeah.
Right, but then you go to the Comic-Con and every artist is telling you, you better learn more fast ways to make art. Like, well, how much you selling that piece? Well, I mean, a couple $100. Like, yeah, but they're selling that shit for 15 fucking grand at the gallery. Like, and from a technical standpoint, it's not better. I mean, from the ability to illustrate standpoint, some are, but you know what I mean. It all washes out. It's of similar. It's of equal to or lesser. I've never seen. Man, it's rare to see a gallery piece produce something that a good a good comic illustrator couldn't do. You know, I've seen a few, but not a lot. So what I'm trying to get at is I believe this idea of producing a ton of art fast was just something that Disney and these kinds of like widget art studios told and tricked a generation of artists into believing so they could pay them less and get more. You know, but if you wheel that same art, put it on, instead of on a comic book, you painted it on the back of a skateboard and you walk into a gallery, you could sell that shit for $2 fucking grand, maybe even 200 grand. All you gotta do is wear an outfit, have a cool name, don't talk, you know. Get a real mysterious boyfriend and or girlfriend or significant other or whatever, you know. and come up with a motif. Like I just paint you know, like I just paint these heads, these talk heads.
That's all I do.
But yeah, you take those gallery artists, you walk into a Comic-Con and they're seeing artists like they're selling what for how much? You know, how much are you making? You gotta make how much of this stuff? You gotta be able to do forget a page a day like an American monthly comic illustrator. Let's go to like a mangaka artist. You gotta do 30 pages like a week, you know? And they're just like, I'm not ever doing. That's not art. That's like hell. It's hell. But they go, well, that's the market. That's how it works. And I'm like, you guys, it took me the longest time to realize you don't have to play any of these games. You know, you really don't. What you need to start off with is your want to create something and your love for creating it.
Yeah.
And then you need to like get on creating it and be as visible as possible.
Right. And
find a loyal following, even if it's like 20 people. I don't care if it's only 20 people. I don't care if you have 100,000 followers. I had friends who had like 1 million friends on MySpace. You know, now they can't get like 500 people on Instagram. So I got someone on Instagram like, I got 1 million people. I'm like, one day you won't. Do you have 1 million people on TikTok as well? Well, nope. Well, see how that works? Something else gets invented, and then you're not popular there no more. So don't chase that shit. But I do think, like, you know, if you're going to go indie in any area, you have to be known for something.
Yeah.
You can't be a jack of all trades. And that is the hardest thing for like blue collar style like illustrators of any kind, modelers, musicians, anything, to like want to define themselves because they're used to just saying, I just want to get work and make work and get paid and earn a living. Well, to really be like an auteur of any level, you have to be the one to say, I will never do this. I don't do that, you know? And I'm known for doing something like this. And so what I've tried to do was, rather than like be known for drawing a certain way, I try to get known for just making fun shit. You know, whatever I'm on, I'll make it fun. You know, that's what I like to do.
It's definitely working here. Yeah, I mean, like even when I saw your portfolio, I was like, this just feels good. You know, like there's so much fun shape language happening here, and like this, like
even if this dude had a hatchet with a sack full of heads, we'll make it fun. Like it doesn't. I can draw him with a hatchet and a little sack over here, you know, and he's got like maybe he's got like a Where's Waldo cap, you know, with like a little brain hanging off, you know, boo boo boo, you know, like an eyeball stringing off that or something. Like there's a way to make it fun.
Just make it fun.
What I don't like doing is creating like shit that makes people like. I don't mind telling a story that makes people cry, but I'm not gonna draw like disturbing or like overly dramatic stuff.
Sure.
You know, that's just, I don't want to, I mean, I would like to make this guy have fun, and then like, you know, we take all of his shit away and blow up his dog, and then you're like, no! And then you find out the dog's alright, he's just been living with the villain, and he's pooping on the villain's bed every fucking night. You know, until Talk and them are reunited, and happy ending.
Right.
See, it's a whole story. You didn't ask for it, but that's what you got.
That's what I got.
You got one, whether you wanted it or not.
No, I have a bad backstory. Yep.
Yeah, yeah. Or he has a pet tick, so tick and talk, right? I specialize in stupid. Like, that's what I do best. Stupid.
I mean, I have a character named Malaboy, so I mean, yeah. You know, just keep it on the nose. Like, at first, I actually thought about having, like, so many of my characters be, like, puns until we chatted and just, like, oh, we need to make things be a little bit more, stick a little bit more, yeah, like.
The problem with making puns out of everything is it just turns into, like, dad jokes, the video game.
Sure.
And a pun is, like, fine here and there, but, like, you don't, like, Wave Race had no puns and was just as recognized. Now, the characters weren't recognizable, but they weren't really kind of designed to be, you know? But the levels were. But if you go to, like, Crash Team Racing, like, they start punning the names of the level. And it's fine here or there, but you don't need it. You could be like, it's Donut Plains. Matter of fact, I'll say Donut Plains is probably the least interesting, best name for a level I've ever heard. Who doesn't want to go to Donut Plains?
Yeah, I go to
Just
Donut
don't
Plains.
put actual donuts there. That's the mistake people make now. Is they're like, no, see, it's made of donuts. Like, don't make the level out of food. So it seems fun, but it's not. I don't want to drive through a bowl of spaghetti unless that spaghetti is made of carnivorous meatballs and it's a fucking nightmare level in Psychonauts. Sure. Don't do it. You know. So let's just. I assume you're gonna have the same skin color. We can start there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll keep them.
So did you want to keep this basic, like, color scheme as is?
No.
Like, or did you? No, you wanted a completely new one.
Yeah, I mean, like we have. I like different portions of it, but I don't think that it would completely work with our new setup and everything. I don't think it's just kind of, it's so different now. Like it could have like the earthy colors of like brown and green and everything, but at the same time, like, this is a very industrial steampunk character, so that might be, it'd make more sense to have. So definitely a brown would feel right in a steampunk character. You have like leathers and tan as kind of like the way his socks are in that original color. I definitely want to keep his blonde hair. I think that works really well, like a sun bleached kind of thing in the desert and stuff. I think that makes sense. But other than that, I don't think I have any preferences. Like, let's see if I can find some steampunk references. I think most steampunk clothes are like black, though. Like black and gold are pretty prevalent in steampunk. Brown. Yeah, kind of like a burgundy.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think of like a more of a complementary color scheme way I can kind of, you know, like if we're gonna have greens, maybe the black is more of like a purple, blackish color, you know.
Yeah, I never really want to have true black anyway. Like when I have black, I probably want to have like a dark gray or even like a dark purple on most things stylized. Yeah, I try to avoid true black. Unless it's like a metal or something.
And blob some stuff in.
Let's see if we get any trolls today. So far, so good.
I don't know.
I had to like ban like 5 or 6 people. Different accounts.
People.
Yeah, people. Yeah.
Future AI artists.
Click the button, people.
Yeah. Conspiracy, like, skeptic in me, like, awfully weird how we just got this whole Bitcoin, NFT, and now it's AI. Like, who? It's got to be the same motherfuckers making this stupid shit.
I would not doubt it one bit.
You know what I mean?
Constantly hit up by NFT stuff. It's so frustrating.
Like, it can't be a coincidence that this all comes around. It's like, no, it's just innovation. No. No, I'm not believing that. You know?
I will openly be a hater of both.
It feels like it's going from one grift to the next.
What's the next stupid thing that we can make? Like, I think the one interesting thing I've seen with the AI art stuff was someone, like, I guess they filtered a bunch of frames of their music video through, like, AI art thing to make it more, like, warpy and like, I don't know, psychedelic or something. But that's more of, like, automatic, like, crazy adjustment stuff. If you're gonna try to, like, replace art, it's a different, I don't know, like, I don't know, I could see that being kind of fun, but I think ultimately it probably will lead to, like, less artists having work, and that kind of pisses me off. I don't know. Why don't we make AI stuff that's, like, useful for people and, like, life and stuff, and that makes you a little bit better.
The only thing I've ever used where it's actually helped was my Roomba.
Sweep my floors.
Yeah. Yeah. It
It's a
knows its
proper
way around the
function.
house. Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
Mow the lawn.
Yep. Do they have Roomba lawn stuff now?
They do.
They got to. Yeah, they do. Okay. I swear, yeah, they have to. It would just make so much sense to do that.
Oh, believe me, like, I'm following a guy who's kind of getting into it, and it's working all right. It's there
Okay.
and kind of not there. So soon enough, it will be. And then I'm replacing my mower with the. I'm just gonna invest in that because I don't know if I can feel like going outside to mow. Just send the droid.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, over time, I'm sure it'll just do better and everything over time. But that'd be cool. Heck yeah. 'Cause I mean, like, mowing is usually like a side hustle for people, not a career. So I mean, automating things like that, I don't think are.
You tell that to
problematic.
landscapers.
Well, that's true. That's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah, I need a Roomba to like make my coffee. Like, I just want like a drone butler. They can wash the dishes, got little hands, makes the coffee. It'll really help. See, what I want, the thing I want to put out of business is old folks' homes. I want Roombas to replace those assholes.
Old folks' homes.
Yeah, a lot of elderly abuse. So I used to do security at them and had to really, like, watch how they're being treated, by psychopaths that work in those places. I mean, there's some good people, but there's a lot of abuse.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people that don't need to be in there, like, some of them don't have anywhere else to go, or they're lonely,
Oh, sure.
So,
Yeah.
I'm like, man, if the Roombas can take their elderly out for a walk, then yeah.
Yeah, you could automate quite a lot of stuff. That just, I don't know, would be just quality of life shifts with, especially things like that you're just talking about. Where like there just needs to be more, I don't know, more care. I guess I don't know. That could be helpful. Kind of supplement what's not there, in a way. This is looking cool. It's kind of, I know it's like flat colors right now, but it's still.
Make an option.
I don't know. I'm excited because I'm almost at the texturing phase for talk, and I just like, I'm stoked to kind of.
I'm trying not to like go too saturated at first, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just trying to find the right. They're like, oh, just do the value check. I could do the value check, but it largely doesn't help figure design, like because it's going to be affected by real time lighting. So like, against what? When he's in the cavern or underwater? So like I get it, but you know, you kind of want like a neutral character overall, but then you
Mm-hmm.
don't. You know, you still want it to pop, so something like. So it might be the yellows at this point. I'm thinking because he has a blonde hair, right? So, yeah. It's like a little puzzle solving thing. I'm no AI algorithm, but it's not my first rodeo.
You know what? I didn't realize they were fingerless gloves. I'll have to adjust my high poly. That'll be easy.
I can make them full gloves if you prefer it.
I think steampunk leans itself to the fingerless glove feel. I think it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just need to adjust my high poly. That's not a problem. I like cut in seams where could be fingers. So yeah, that'll just be like a 10-minute adjustment. I don't know why I didn't realize that. I probably thought that like the thumb seam was like just like a normal glove seam and not like a chop off from the to the fingers. But that's
Yeah, this is why I was like, "Hey, you want to stream?" So we don't have to do this back and forth thing. It's my whole like reasoning for the streaming thing. Was like, if he's there and I'm doing something, we can just deal with that there.
totally. Yeah, this is great. Yeah, this is awesome. I remember the first I made a little D&D character, and I just like streamed the process of me making the D&D character because I wanted to chat with them directly. I feel like that's the best way. If you can like talk directly to your clients or whatever, like it's so helpful. You don't like waste any time. It's like, how's this look? Rather than having to send a screenshot and like wait for their answer, that kind of stuff. It's just, yeah, this is cool. Kind of like a darker, grittier.
That gem is yellow.
Yeah, too much yellow. I forgot we had, yeah, we adjusted the gem to being on the shoulder armor. Yeah, because it was just so busy on the front. It wouldn't
Yeah,
have
and you
really
want to
met that
see
well.
when you see his model. You're not going to see if the opponent would see it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. If you're filtering the power through, then that you'll definitely see it on the like glowing on the shoulder way better than literally on the front of you where the camera is not. Yeah. Yeah, that's a interesting thing. Like you have to like really think about where you're going to see most of the time, like animation wise and aesthetically, like you're seeing from behind them, which is usually put a lot of information in the front just because that's just what a lot of people have, and then you have to like really think about how it will read from the back. A lot of platformers and stuff. Yeah, I really like the little ridges that you add on the perimeter of the goggles. Like that just adds a lot more like fun interest to them. They're just not just like simple cylinders.
Oh, so it's flashlights, like those screws-ons you put on like on flashlights and stuff.
Totally. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, that feels good. Yeah. Yeah, I'm glad we also like kind of found that like shape language kind of height to squash value, you know, like the Inklings were I think were a good example of it's like it's like looking for the right like the exact right thing. I'm like the Inklings look pretty dang close to what I'm looking for. It kind of sucks because I had nearly completed talk from before,
Mm-hmm.
and this is yeah. I'm so glad I had you working on this now because like I feel like I just wasted so much time on old talk. Just like I just feel like it didn't read the way I wanted to for the game. It was way too serious, way too realistic, like Bucky is, and yeah, this is just way, a lot more how I imagined it. It's almost like a Ratchet and Clank kind of feel, just that. Cool. Yeah, there are kind of a lot of like golden slash like copper pieces and plating um, on steampunk stuff. What do you? What's your thought on the second dial on the upper glove piece? Um, I didn't end up I didn't end up modeling it, but because I thought maybe it was too busy having two of them. But if
Yeah, it's kind of busy.
what do you think? Is it okay? Busy.
I'm not, bro. Like I have my things in life I'm big on. This little clock right here ain't one of them. It's just one of those things you add in, you know.
Yeah. So I do like that, and the idea of like having similar pieces in the piece. That's always cool to have. But I was like, yeah, I feel like it was a little bit busy in the model. Um, cool. Yeah.
Oh, I
Is it the layer? Yeah. Okay.
no, there's a little bit of shade right there still. So
Oh, it's probably for the trim.
yeah.
Yo.
It's just because it's the way I set the file. It's a little. I do all the cleanup as I go. I don't really.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Sweet. Yeah, this has been a really fun one to model, man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like yeah, I like the bits of asymmetry in the hair and like the armor piece and everything. Just kind of make it feel pretty good, and then just I don't know, just yeah, it's just something that I feel like for such a long time now that like I've more so been a 3D translator rather than a 2D artist. Um, but like this is exactly how I've imagined the game in my head to look like with these kind of character, like this kind of character style. I just like couldn't put it on paper properly.
Well, good.
So,
Yeah, that's
so
always the hope, man. It's always the hope, you know.
it was just like a joy, like modeling it, like this is what I'm looking for, like this is perfect.
Awesome.
I don't know, man. I appreciate
Yeah,
it.
yeah. Like I said, you know, I get to see the art actually. You know, if you don't fuck it up, all in 3D. Like it's
I will. I will try my best.
no pressure, but like.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, well, actually, what's that?
Let's see what you're saying.
Oh yeah, I think when I want to send you, um, I'll make a few changes and everything, but I think I want to send you a few, like a screenshot of the current model, here soon, and see what you think about it. I think it's going really well, but yeah, I'd like to give some extra feedback. It's like there's something that you think should be there that's just kind of missing, or something needs to be a little more extreme on some of the shape language, then it definitely, yeah, let me know and I'll make some changes.
Can do.
That's looking dope. I can definitely see this like as a, coming from the sand kind of character, like like in the desert, cartoon version.
That's what I was saying. Like, you gotta really. We had a discussion. For those that don't know, like, I had a discussion with Dan about, like, you can do these random designs and then kind of place them, but if I like try to think of the location and then the character comes from the location. So when I'm designing, I can just imagine this character, like, how would this character be in their environment? How would they be running around? What would they be doing? And otherwise, you're just drawing random things to, like, suit, like, maybe your personal whimsy, And it doesn't help. Like, it also helps how to make decisions every time you go around. If I know each character, where they're coming from and what their environment is, and what, before there even is concept art, then, like, as I'm designing, I can contrast one against the other based on that environment too. So when you don't do that, you're really just kind of hoping that, like, your ability to draw is carrying everything across. Some artists can do it, but I felt that even the artists that are really good artistically, when players are playing the games, they can be like, doesn't feel like it's, like, tied together. And there's this unspoken part, and I can tell you it's probably because a bunch of random art was created that someone who makes decisions was just saying yay or nay, and it's like, same with AI. Like, if you just got a million things and you're giving thumbs up, thumbs down, there's no real cohesion underneath. Where's it going for? You end up almost in, like, that Star Wars prequel era of design where George was just like, show me, like, 20 versions of something and this will just end up at places. And it's like, well, where's it for? I haven't thought about it yet. Just give me this big fat slug who burps. And you're just like, all right, man. Like, do you what? Like, like, it's not tied together because it never had a place to go. Whereas if you're designing for, you got an ice planet, then you can design a bunch of Imperial things that revolve around ice. And that environment ties it together back in, like, Empire Strikes Back. So I just think about that. I always say, try to keep that in mind. I mean, you don't have to make the decisions now, but, like, it really is helpful to have an understanding of what that might be. Because you're going to end up just changing everything to fit that final decision later. And I don't mind working hard. What I hate doing is redoing work for no reason. Like, anybody, whether it's drawing or modeling, you don't want to be redoing things. You want to be like, we're always moving forward. This might be hard, but we only got to do this part of it now and not over and over and over,
Mm-hmm.
And part of that over and over is, as I'm certain you've come to experience a little bit of right now, or maybe a lot of, that over and over is because you're like, yeah, I didn't know what I was doing then, and then we figured it out and had to go redo everything. You're like, yeah. Well, that's part of the process. No, that's not actually. Like, it's not. That's part of the learning curve, but that's why, like, vertical slices are so helpful. So, you can, like, screw up at a smaller scale.
Yeah, exactly.
A larger scale, but it's still, like, there's just things that you can eliminate from the equation if you have a little bit of experience, you know.
Yeah, like
And
yeah,
and
totally. Like knowing the background and everything really does kind of make a lot of decisions, or help make a lot of decisions and guide it, and it's
yeah, like why give them goggles and or like I picked this like greenish kind of teal color. Well, why? In my head, I'm like, well, he's probably mining for crystals, you know, and so it glows in the dark, but it can also tint with the bright light when he's out in the bright light of the sun. Like there's a theory behind it for me, you know. Whether those things happen in game or not, I'm not that interested in, you know. Like they can, great. Um, versus blue or purple or anything else, you know.
yeah, totally.
Let's say that's one option. Like, so then what I'll do.
Yeah, that's sick.
G,
Oh, you like group into separate options and have like
always option.
yeah. Do you just like color fill the current color values, or
No, I just select different colors. Yeah, there's
Okay.
wand, or I'll hand draw. Like,
wand? Yeah.
yeah, I just sort of like
Cool.
try to play differently. So
Is there a hotkey to be able to grab everything that's that color, or is it just like that's the layer?
well, when you're wand, just set it to uncheck contiguous, so it will select that color on that layer.
Oh, okay. I never knew that. I was like, I can select different parts of those colors, but not everything in
Right.
that
So
color.
contiguous means that it would select to a bound, right?
I see.
If you uncheck contiguous, it will select like all of it. Same.
Okay, I appreciate that. Yeah. I don't like spending time just like shift multi-clicking if I can help it. Yeah, appreciate it, man. Yeah, we have a Twitter. Yeah, I'll send the link. And then yeah, and there's a link below that also has the Steam page if you want to check out the game. We have it. It's only a wish list currently. You can, but we'll hopefully have a demo soon. So this will be our 4th character.
That's how you just. That's what AI does. Throws that shit in there. You're like, no, we can just easily fix everything. Yeah. That's where I want to spend. I want to spend my whole time creating art, just fixing things, not actually making anything. That's brilliant. Can't wait for that life. You know. Like people don't realize what they say sometimes.
That's funny.
My favorite part of the job is just clicking things and making decisions. Then I get to go home. Really fulfilling. That's what I spent my entire life working towards.
Oh yeah, this is live live creation. So basically, almost daily now, we do streaming. So this is currently our concept artist Rob, and yeah, just going over our fourth racer character. And but yeah, usually I'll stream game art. I'll be doing the 3D models and everything for the vehicles, weapons, and characters. Trying to get my somewhat shy programmer to stream as well, but yeah, trying to get some VFX on here as well. So yeah, hopefully we'll have some mixed streams here soon with some more variety. But this is our first like co-stream variety stream with Rob, so it's been cool.
we'll get the militaristic greens out of the way, so we did it. It's always helpful to just see it, so you're like, no.
I feel like if I was gonna, if I was going to go into a Comic-Con, I'd probably be to the green. But yeah, we'll do a poll. I feel like it worked pretty well.
Look at that, now he's evil.
Instant evil.
Yeah.
I mean, you know,
Yeah.
we'll have skins, you know.
Right.
We can have an evil talk.
Teal.
I think it'd be fun to have a lineup of like Nutcracker or like the wooden toy or something like that skins. I think it'd be a lot of fun. Be like a there's a bunch of like fun I don't know what you call it, like themes, I guess. Yeah, for like hero games like this or mascot games like this.
Yeah, I hate that.
You don't like skins? I spent so much money on
spent
skins, dude.
spent 2 years on skins for a game that never came out.
No.
Doing exactly that, making Christmas holiday things. You know, there's a way to do it, like if we did it, that I would like talk you into, you know, that I think could be more fun. But like when you do Nutcracker, to me it's just like, yeah, there has to be something else to this. Like I would always say skins by way of Ren and Stimpy. Like skins by way of Invader Zim, like maniacal skins. You know, the tame ones, that's for studios. The studios like the tame ones, but like people really relate to it. And I'm like, that's generic bullshit, man. Like everyone's doing that. Like,
Yeah, let's make some fun stuff. Yeah, I mean, I purposefully I've been very wary about publishers because I want to keep my creative freedom for the game and like be able to make what I want to make. Like this sounds dope. Let's do that and not have overhead say no. Honestly, that's like
I always like it when
yeah.
publishers try to tell me what will sell on clothing, and I'm like, you know, I did that for a living for like almost 20 years. I mean, like, I've sold millions of dollars worth of clothing. I know what people like to wear, like real people, not gamers. Like you know, real people. Dan, you've heard of these real people?
Real people?
Yeah, you know, they buy like socks and underwear and stuff.
The
you
mundane.
know? Yeah, versus Hot Toys and you know Scooby-Doo skins and you know, pre-ordering Hot Toys. How about that? Yeah, 3 more years and they'll make it. Like, yeah, okay, can't wait.
I think Smash Bros went the easy route with variation, where they, like, for the most part, most Smash Bros characters have just like color swaps, like, as their
Those
variation.
characters are so well known they can get away with it.
Right.
You know?
That's true. That's true.
Like color swaps for your game is like people are gonna be like that should just be a feature. I'm not paying for that shit. Like, you know, gamers are they believe me, man. They see through it. Unless
Oh,
it
yeah.
says Nintendo, then they're like, yeah, another Pokemon game this year. I only have 5 of them. I swear to God, more Pokemon games have been released since COVID started than any other series. Like,
I mean, no, I would definitely want to have. I would want to have like, I don't know, fun like actual variation and everything, because like, I don't know, a big reason why I wanted to even start this in the first place, just like the company in general, just like to provide opportunity for artists and stuff and like for other developers. So like, you know, if I can find the funding to do it, then I'm going to, you know, hire some artists to, yeah, help concept the new skins and help make them and keep it running. Because, yeah, I don't know. It's cool. It's cool helping support creativity. That's what I wanted to do and keep doing. I know when I hit you up the first time, because I saw that you worked on some pretty fun projects. I was like, "There's no way this guy's gonna like respond." Like
that, you never know, right?
I had to.
Like,
I had to try.
That's how I feel about major studios. I'm like, they'll never read. This is just pointless. You know, they'll find me or not. I don't know. Then again, I don't even know who I'd hit up. Like, because at this point, it's like there's just, I think there's a bigger need for what I do in the indie world, but there's no money for what I do in the indie world for the most part. You know, like that's where like this needs the most work, and the major studios don't need it as much because they kind of already have their group of dudes that fucking make it. You know? Or when you go in there, they destroy any sense of originality you have, and now you're like, you're gonna be 343's Halo guy. Hope you enjoy it. You know, like why? Material call out. I don't know. Just pick anything from the last 16 fucking Halos. It's all metal. Like, what various metal do you need? You know, just Halo Metal 1, Halo 2. You got it all figured out. Like. Nothing's changed. 20 years of Halo games.
Metal _71 _
For
5.
real, like what material callouts for Halo do you really need to do? Like, seriously, if the texture artists don't know by now, I mean, then art director should just be able to sit there making this. That's what AI should do. Take a design and be like, what game you want? Boom. Okay, now it's textured just like that game. There. Texture artist like, no! Not us, just you people.
Just automate the modeling, not the texturing.
Yeah. Never my job. Never my job.
I kind of like the gray a little bit.
Yeah, I was there to think something more neutral,
Sure.
like chromatic. You know, I gotta do that like head pinching thing. You know.
What genre of game is this going to be? So, it's pretty much like it's like a true hybrid. So if you think about like Smash Bros meets Mario Kart, that's pretty much what this is. It's or maybe even like Overwatch meets Mario Kart because it has like cooldowns on certain abilities and stuff.
It's Splatoon meets Mario Kart.
With the Splatoon aesthetic.
It's Splatoon Kart. Telling you. Because they fight.
Yep. Oh yes, yeah. Overall, it's a racer. Yes, it's a racer that they happen to brawl in a lot. Yeah. So this should be the first racer that actually has true team play elements, where like just like any kind of MOBA, for instance, you can like heal your teammates or speed them up and everything. It's going to have like teamwork elements. Like they have like Crash Team Racing and they have like Sonic Racing and that have certain kind of team elements, but they were very subtle team elements. This is definitely going to be like team combat elements. So a little bit different. Trying to like take some cool stuff from multiple different genres and make something cool out of it. Just kind of Play-Doh it together.
Yeah, it's like Mortal Kombat. You rip out people's spines, you drive over them. Like, no, Rob, stop telling them that. Like, don't do that. They can. You know, you're gonna be one of those guys that's stuck animating that for 3 years, like those Resident Evil artists, and you want to kill yourself because you're just seeing horrific gore all day. Did you hear about that?
That would bother me. Yeah. What?
It was like a year ago or so. It was a whole story about these cats like on the Resident Evil teams. It's the same people. So it's just years of just horrific, nightmarish shit, and they're actually having PTSD and stuff from it. I'm like, that makes a lot of sense.
I wouldn't doubt that at all. Yeah, that sucks. Like I
just
remember
always staring at vomit and entrails, you know. Like,
I worked on one student horror game, and I was the creature artist for it and everything, and it was like a pretty gruesome baddie that I was making, was like a bunch of fish creature, like a bunch of fish merged with like the scientists trying to make mermaids. It was a very interesting kind of concept story-wise, but then like it was just such a gruesome combination of kind of gorish tentacle creature beast thing. And I remember waking up to my screen being on because I didn't have the, you know, my screensaver on at the time. And I had like the ZBrush just like zoomed in on it. I like just straight up had nightmares for a week just making the thing. I can only imagine if you're just staring at that for years. I couldn't do it. Yeah, no thanks. Yeah, I mean like I don't really know what kind of rating this game would have. Like like cartoon violence, probably whatever Smash Bros has. You know, I've thought about being a little bit edgy and having a few curse words in there. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Dude, you just have them like use word balloons when they're talking, and then put like the asterisks and stuff, or blur it out like pixel blur over the curse word.
Yeah.
You know, put a little beep in there so people think they said something. Like, just think about Conkers like on the 64 when they were cursing but you couldn't hear it.
That'll get me good PR. Just like Conkers.
Yeah. He did debut in a racing game.
Conkers the racer.
Yeah, Conkers. Yeah, Crash Team Diddy Kong Racing had Conkers.
I really
Conkers we all knew, you know. But, yeah.
Like I had this really funny idea of having a Barbie racer. It's like all like plastic and everything, and you like call in Kin for an airstrike. Just something super stupid like that.
They all melt. Have you tried that? It's in like Greenlight on Steam. It's a first-person shooter, but you're like in a toy store. Like you're the toys. It's really well. I don't like first-person shooters.
Okay.
Like, I get mental. I get like real motion sickness. So it takes us like the last one I played that I really enjoyed was like Left 4 Dead 1 and 2.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah.
It's a long time. This one, like, it's an indie studio, so it's got a ways to go in terms of developing all the fun. But they got the toy aisles down perfect. Like, I worked in a toy store. It's like a classic toy store where you're just out there shooting your little action figures and you're blowing the shit out of everyone, and I'm like toys and junk everywhere. I'm like, it's pretty cool, you know.
That sounds kind of fun. Yeah.
The way I envisioned Army Men would have been back on the PlayStation.
Yeah, I stopped for the most part. Yeah, I've heard the last FPS I played was, I think, was like Battlefield or something, where like every time you die, there's this horrific like animation of you like blinking in and out, and like you're just like scrambling for life and stuff, and it's just like awful. Like this is like how you create PTSD from video games, like kind of animation. It was pretty bad. And then like right when you die, there's like a little like sequence before you respawn where it's like this soldier from this time to this time is like their gravestone kind of thing. And I'm like, that's I don't like that. Like, I don't know if any other games have done that before, but that just like really like shut me off of that kind of game. Like it.
I'm not up for war simulators.
No.
So
It's already
not
bad
my
enough that
thing.
it exists. I don't want to recreate
But the
it.
Left 4 Dead was fun because I always wanted to be in a zombie apocalypse. It's been overplayed since then, but they did it really well.
Sure.
What I really enjoyed was some fans made a Disneyland map. And like one of the checkpoints where you got to do like the waves of zombies is in the tiki room with fucking birds won't shut up, and the guy's like, "Well, that bird shut up!" Like you're just stuck in that tiki room, killing waves of zombies, and like this makes sense.
That's funny.
Pretty good fan map.
That's cool. I remember one of my professors told me they were working on what was it? Some of the Disney Infinity stuff, and a few other games before that, and what is it? They were making like they had Disney characters, but they had I guess this kind of like base game under their game engine where they had kind of like a FPS, and so just to play around, like some of the developers created an FPS with Disney characters, and they called it Call of Disney.
Yeah, I'm sure that went real well with the uppers.
Oh, I'm sure it got shut down quick.
They probably dissolved the whole art department. Like, oh, you think it's funny, huh? They take that shit real seriously.
Oh, no doubt. Yeah, if any kind of like footage like got leaked, I'm sure they would have gotten in a lot of trouble. But yeah, that was a funny story though. Yeah, thanks for the follows, guys. Appreciate it. Yeah, we try to stream. So I try to run streams daily if I can. I try to do at least an hour a day if possible. And yeah, just trying to get a little bit of game dev done every day. And yeah, I'm a lead artist during the day, and then in the evenings I work on this stuff. Pretty much just burning the candle from both ends kind of thing. But I love it. We'll have I'll be publishing actually a video tomorrow with the voice actress for Mallet super stoked about that one. I've been spending a couple of days editing it down.
Oh, nice.
That was a lot of fun. Yeah, she was a super talented actress. Just like worked on a few animes and games, and yeah, just really cool to work with.
What's she doing now?
She's been working on Genshin Impact. It's like that really popular mobile game or whatever. Kind of anime.
Yeah, free to play Breath of the Wild. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, like that. Yeah, exactly. Free to play Breath of the Wild. Yep.
Yeah, that's why I don't play it, because it's free to play.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, she.
I don't know what it is. I'm not against the idea of a free game where you buy things to kind of support the development. I'm certainly not against it. The problem is everyone I've played feels like there's all these crazy, like, when someone like puts way too many add-ons for WoW and the interface turns into like a military map with text everywhere. TikToks and little, I don't know, man. There's all this weird shit. You can't just play a game. Like, I don't know. Like, I played that Bravely Default, or not Bravely Default, the one that was like Tactics, but Square put it out, and I was like, it feels like a slot machine. Like, things are going off every 3 seconds. Always makes you feel like you're winning when I'm like, I didn't do anything.
I never understood those. Go ahead. What was that?
That's all right. No, I was being rhetorical. Like, I didn't do anything. Why am I winning?
I never understood the appeal to like those RPGs that fight battles for themselves, like AI battle sim. Like I don't get the appeal to it. I know that like there's been this huge push on YouTube of like people being sponsored by these like game companies and everything, but I just don't see the appeal. If I'm gonna play a game, I want to play the game. I don't want it to like autoplay for me. What's the point? Like just to, you know, like I never got that. Yeah, I forgot the name of the game that I'm thinking of, but it's like the most popular sponsor on YouTube right now for like gamer space and stuff. But it bothers me. I would never buy a game or play a game that just plays itself. It's supposed to be like a new cool feature, but I'm like, I don't know why do you like that? I guess like it reduces your grinding for a grindy game. I don't know.
Yeah, but the battle is the point of an RPG. The battle system is the point. So if you're not engaged with the battle system, it's because it sucks. It's not because you're trying to get to the story. If you just want the story, like literally, just like part of the story is that you don't feel the achievement of the story unless you fought through the battles personally. It doesn't make any sense. Like, I couldn't imagine caring about the ending of Final Fantasy Tactics if I hadn't played all those battles myself to get there. Like, it's kind of like the investment ratio. Like, so I just see that and I'm like, people just. It's funny. You hear complaints about folks who are like, they feel the need to finish their $60 purchase, I guess. So their way out of playing it is to not play it. I don't have time, so I'll let it play itself. I'm like, I wonder too, man. Like, does an RPG need to be 60 hours? Can it be 20? If it was, people would complain it was too short. But I think the 20-hour JRPG should be like the default, not the 100-hour. Only the ones that have proven they can do it, like Dragon Quest, and at this point, perhaps Fire Emblem. But at this point, Dragon Quest should be the only one. All the other ones can be 20 out. And don't charge me $60 for it, and you'll sell a lot more copies.
I remember my first interest in like kind of like the turn-based battle simulation kind of game like that was a Lord of the Rings game. Actually, it was like the Third Age on like Game Boy or something or whatever, and I loved that game. And beforehand, I had only wanted to play like live, real-time action kind of games, and that's the first one that got me into it. And then I started playing Dragon Quest series and watching my buddy play it, and they got kind of really pulled me into it.
Well, if the games can make you laugh, then you can be entertained throughout the whole game. The enemies, the bosses. If you're got, it beats the monotony.
I should do more co-streams. I feel like when I'm by myself, I don't chat as much. I think that's.
But you don't sit talking to yourself. You hear the voices in your head. And
I try my best.
People ask me that when I'm drawing. They're like, "You're so quiet." I'm like, "What am I supposed to do? Talk to myself?" You're like, that's crazy. Like, you see those people on the street, you avoid them. You want me to do that now? All right.
Just talk to yourself professionally.
People barely like the music I choose. You want to hear the voices in my head too? Like, I don't think so.
All right, what is? So someone's saying, I don't know why, but the character on the screen has a Conker's Bad Fur Day edgy kind of vibe to me. Yeah. I can see it has a possibly similar shape, language, style-wise, but yeah. We were just talking about Conkers earlier.
Well, I told you the whole project reminded me of something that's very rare, circa 99, 2001. Somewhere between Conkers and Cameo.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like if Rare had made a Dreamcast game.
Yeah, I mean, you gather a lot of like, yeah, I mean, mad respect to people who were making games back then, and when there's like less knowledge about how to make games, and it was just kind of like less popular and everything. Like,
Well, they were generally making them to entertain themselves.
That makes sense. That makes
You
total
know,
sense.
that's the biggest difference between then and now. Like now you're making things to like, well, there's this blah 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 and metrics blah 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 blah, and this is what's trending blah 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 blah, farm simulator blah 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 blah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it's like, or what do you want to play? We don't want to hear what you want to play. What do you make the thing that sells the money?
Welcome, Ham Solo. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Like back then, when I was kind of like now, being a gamer, being a developer is pretty popular, but like back then, you're like probably made fun of quite a bit. So I could totally see if you were just making games to just have fun, and it just happened to be a product because you made this thing and other people want to play.
Well, I had a teacher when I was going to the Art Institute. His name was Christian Bradley. He's one of those early texture artists, you know, like on Unreal and shit. And he would just kind of talk like this. And he'd be like, well, you know, I bought my first house with textures. I didn't know you could do it. He'd laugh like that. You're like, all right, all right, Chris. He was a really good dude. Though.
Sure,
Good. He called me in his office one day, and he was like, I think you probably should have gone to like a fine art. I'm like, can I get my money back? I'll go now. Like, just refund me. Fair, you know what I mean? Keep your knowledge. I'll never use it, and I'll go to a fine art school. That's not how it works. I was like, all right. Well, thanks for telling me what I should have done with my life, Christian. But you know, he was one of those like total nerd. You know, he didn't like telling people where he worked. He was like embarrassed. Now I'm certain he's easy to be proud of it. You know.
Totally. Yeah. So Ham Solo is referencing Speed Punks, the game. I've never played Speed Punks.
No.
So it looks like a, I mean, definitely racer. It seems to be a racer. So this must be old school. It has real old school graphics.
Is it the toon shaded one?
It looks like a, well, it's like PS1, PS2 era, at least graphically anyway. Yes, it looks like a PS2 Mario Kart kind of game. Speed Punks.
Yeah, that looks horrible. I'm just looking at the cover art. Like the cover art looks like an AI generated image typed in Funko Kart Racer. The AI would generate that cover. The font is great because it's classic to early 2000s. Like it's like what if Wipeout went to a rave, you know? Oh yeah, I can see. Yeah, this is definitely post Crash Team Racing. Oh, you like how the wheels just float so they didn't have to bother rigging? You know what I mean?
No
like,
full sim. So this was
it's like Stunt Race Effects.
This was released in 1999. Yeah, so this has been
about
a minute.
the same time, or right before Crash.
Yeah. So it looks like they changed their name to Speed Freaks, or maybe that's a new version of it. But it looks like Speed Freaks was the updated name. PS1. Okay, PS1.
Shame it's running at like 15 frames per second. I wonder if...
Yeah.
Yeah, this definitely comes out after Mario Kart because you can see the screen is doing the projection.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the texture was great. It's just 15 frames per second. How are you supposed to play this? Like, so the texture art is, you know, super fun.
Yeah.
Detailed levels. You know, it's doing what like you would hope the 64 would be able to do with the amount of stuff on there. But you're getting the performance of like Stunt Race Effects. It's a shame. Those windmills, pretty good layering too.
It's kind of funny that the clip that I'm seeing, that this guy has a football helmet on and there's no actual chassis. It's literally just the wheels and like this front dashboard. It's like he's riding on his butt instead of like the chassis.
Yeah, it's like hovering. My guess is that's a mistake in emulation. That seems like an emulation goof. I may be wrong though, but
yeah. I mean, yeah, it looks like a decently fun gameplay though.
Maybe they got 5 frames per second. Like, if we take the carts out, we can improve performance 35%.
Less geometry and screen at one time. So yeah.
Make their heads really big and no one will notice. You know, like, all right.
It almost looks like that. Yeah, it reads that way. Ham Solo. Let's see. Okay. If you're a nerd back in the day. Oh, okay, yeah, you're a nerd back in the day. If you were a gamer, now it's trendy. Yeah, it is getting that way.
Dude, you want to know how much of a nerd I was? I've told this story many times, but I'll tell it for you guys. So, like, I was in basic training from August or September of '98 to January of '99. Like, I was a tanker, so it's like 16 weeks. Plus, we had a Christmas break, so it's like 18 weeks of basic training. It's a nightmare. It's not. It was a stupid idea. I never should have done it. Hate tanks. I don't know why I did it. But I was like, I'll be an artist one day. Tanks will be different. It'll be fun. Stupid reason. But in basic, you get a wall locker, and people put like pictures of their girlfriends or their family or their dog or something meaningful to them.
Yeah. And
I had none of those, so I put up this article on Shigeru Miyamoto when IBM was first developing the PowerPC chip for the GameCube, or Project Dolphin, right? And so they're doing this wall locker inspection, and they're going through, the drill sergeants are going through everyone's wall locker. They're seeing what everyone has, and they get to mine. This is 1998, man. You know, this guy who's like this drill sergeant is in his 30s, went to Desert Storm, looks at my wall locker, and there's a picture of a 40-year-old Japanese man. You know? And he's like, what the hell's going on? I'm like, a Shigeru Miyamoto, creator of Legend of Zelda, Mario. You know, you know, like Nintendo 64. And they just looked at me with the most profound disappointment they'd ever seen in a soldier. Like, I could not have disappointed them more.
Man down.
You know, in that moment. Yeah, yeah. Just sheer disgust that this is what the military has turned into, you know. So, unfortunately, by the time, you know, I got to my duty station, the 64 had taken off enough to where like GoldenEye was acceptable and NFL Blitz was acceptable, but these guys were still against shit. Like, if you like, so I remember one of them was like complaining about role-playing games, like, I don't like that, you take a turn, I take a turn, that's stupid. And I'm like chess, you know, like right? And then the guy's looking at me like, you know, and these motherfuckers will go and play Warhammer all night, you know. I'm like, what about Warhammer? You just free for all those figures and blitzkrieg the whole table and shit. Ridiculous. So dumb, dude.
Ham Solo, thanks for your service.
Oh, yeah, don't worry about that, man. Like, yeah. Like, my time, I never went to war. I literally got out right before 9/11. Like, my time in the military was like Animal House with weapons. Like, this is just trying not to lose a finger. Because one guy, they dropped the breech as the cannon that comes out the 120mm round on a tank. They have this thing inside where you put the round. It's called a breech. It comes down, you put a round in there, it goes up automatically. And when you do service, the cannon comes down, so the breech goes up, so you can get underneath it. And some motherfucker, like, killed the hydraulics when someone was under there and went down and pinned
Oh
in
my
there.
goodness.
Yeah. And then they had
that's
to re-break
horrifying.
his leg to get him out the hatch. And
Oh my
like,
goodness.
and I was just like, man, this is ruining my appetite for. Like, I was gonna get a doner kebab or something after that. I was stationed in Germany, so like, there were whole times where we were just like shirking, like doing work and like hiding and playing Dreamcast, and
Oh man.
they'd come into our rooms and we'd be out on the balcony hiding, like on the side of the buildings and shit. So like, it's a very different military before 9.
Yeah.
The one I would describe, there's a movie called Buffalo Soldier with Joaquin Phoenix when he was really younger, and Anna Paquin and Ed Harris.
Mm-hmm.
And they shot that at Vilseck Barracks, which was just a couple hours from where I was stationed. But where I was stationed in Freeburg, it's gone now, looks exactly like that place. And
Okay.
it's like, it was all about people in the military in the 80s and the early 90s when there were before Desert Storm in the 80s, when there was no war. And what did they do? And they were like selling mop and glow and military goods to the Germans, and I'm like, all that was going on when I was in, because there was no war. And then it goes off the deep end and there's a whole story but the first 30-40 minutes is very much my experience in the military.
Dang. Yeah. Yeah, luckily my dad got out right before Desert Storm. It was just like, yeah.
He didn't get the cocktail of crazy juices. The PTS, the desert war syndrome.
I think he got out, he said, like, a few months before anything went down, so that's just lucky.
Right.
Lucky.
Look, it's the Halloween outfit.
Yeah. Just needs the pumpkin head. Pumpkin head with goggles on it.
You know what we should do if we really want to, like, early 2000s this up? Watch.
Stank says, facts. This is exactly why I love turn-based games like chess.
Look at that. We'll give him some frosted tips.
Oh man, yeah, there we
We'll
go.
hot topic this up. You know what I'm saying? Or we could do the my favorite, which is like, he's on the stripper pole at night, so he's gonna have to have. Right. He's a working boy.
Gotta make that money for his gadgets. He's gotta How
I
else
support
you gonna afford those gadgets?
I support all working. I'm very liberal, but I do notice trends in hairstyles. I'm going to his Limp Bizkit days, where he's just like, like, yeah.
Oh man. I mean, I can totally do gradients like that in 3D too. Like that's very doable.
I'll put the weird ones on. What time? Where are we at?
About 5:30.
At there.
Little-
Well, it is time for me to put a pin in this. So we have these to start off with. I can do some airbrushing here and get some shade or some simple shades or gradients going.
Awesome.
If you have some other options or ideas, I can do another round tomorrow. Kind of play with it, go weird, see where we end up.
Sounds good. Yeah.
So I'll do another day of that, and then I should be able to then move on to Kart.
Sweet. Awesome. Yeah.
But think about it, look at it, see what direction you want to play with tomorrow,
Sounds great.
And
Yeah.
then,
If you could send that to me,
I'll do
I'll. Good.
yeah, I'll send it to you, and then I'll do the same too. Like I always think about maybe more like this, or I'll do some steampunk reference. The thing is with a lot of those is the steampunk Victorian outfits are based on like intricate pattern,
Mm-hmm.
pinstriping against stripes against materials, and it's like, what's
Yeah.
the simple version of all that,
Right.
So, but we have some warm, some cool, You know, I mean, if he's all in red, I don't think what he's doing. So, but oranges might be an.
Feels pretty industrial. Like, yeah, I think that could be fun. Totally. Yeah. Yeah. Send that over. I'll do a poll again on Discord and Twitter. So see if I can get some votes in.
Okay, and then we'll do this again tomorrow.
Sounds great. I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for joining, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.
Yeah. Appreciate you being here, and welcome.